Shabbat Shalom. There is a story about a chassid, a student of one of the Hasidic rabbis, who was so humble that his teacher, his Rabbi, would say that no evil could ever touch him, because he had nothing to seize. He would invite guests to his home and give all of his food away to them, and he genuinely did not care when others bumped their egos against him. He made himself so small. So there's a moment in the Parsha today, as Talia was recounting so beautifully, where Jacob is on the road back home, and he has just found out that his brother is heading his way with 400 men, the same brother whose blessing he stole 21 years earlier. And he's very afraid. And so he comes up with a plan. And then he has a moment of prayer, a moment where he gathers himself, and he turns to God, and he says, I am unworthy of all the kindness that you have so steadfastly shown your servant. Deliver me, I pray, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, else I fear he may come and strike me down, mothers and children alike. And the Hebrew word for I am unworthy in the Hebrew is katonti, which is from the Hebrew word katan, meaning small. I am unworthy, I am nothing, I am small, I am undeserving. And it's really a very powerful moment when Jacob finally takes that honest look at himself and the situation that he's in his whole life. And he sees all that he has, his possessions, as we read this morning. He has hundreds and hundreds of animals, multitudes, and a large family, and a retinue of help. And he says, I'm a sinner. I'm undeserving of all this. I lied and fooled my father to giving me the blessing instead of my brother. I took advantage of my brother's hunger to take the physical inheritance from him. My brother actually has real cause to be angry. There's a reason why he's heading this way with 400 men. And yet you've given me this family, you've given me this life, and all this. And I understand I'm about to pay the price for what happened all those years ago. But please save me from this situation. And Jacob was just taking a very honest look at his life at that moment. He had been arrogant in his youth and thought he was the best. He was as a man of tents, the Torah calls him. And yes, he did work hard for everything he had, but a lot of things that he had done were not worthy. And he saw it. I have done a lot of wrong, and understood. I am unworthy of all the kindness that you have so steadfastly shown your servant. Deliver me. There is a saying, the one who entertains the thought, I am great, is not great. But the one who does not give in to the thought, I am great, that person is great. And that doesn't mean that we should be unkind to our own selves, but rather that we need to eliminate the thought that makes us feel that we're the best. And the Maggid of Mezerich, a Hasidic Rebbe, he teaches that if we think we are big, then God will make himself or herself big, transcendent, boundless, and we can't go near him or her. But if we think we are small, then God, so to speak, makes himself or herself small, so that we finite, limited creatures that we are can come close and feel that he or she is there with us. So Talia spoke about remorse today in your Dvar Torah, and the remorse of Jacob after all those years. And this is what it means to have true remorse, to see with that honest look, I am unworthy of all the kindness I've been shown because of all I did. And now we're taught as a path to tshuva, to repentance. So how do we find that place? It's often the result of perspective. Suddenly seeing how fleeting all of our lives are, just specks of dust in the grand universe. Or Jacob suddenly facing his brother in his past. Our ego gets out of the way, and then the divine can come in. And Jacob looks at everything he has and sees how much he's been given, although he was far from perfect. And that's the place from which he wrestles all night with the angel. He wrestles with his brokenness, and his inner struggle is with the truth of his life. But slowly through the night, it takes him to the place of new beginning and of wholeness. As Leonard Cohen says, it's the cracks to let the light in. And so finally, in the morning, after his struggle, Jacob is given his new name, Israel, and he's lifted from the narrow places where he was into the expanses of a new beginning. And his brother embraces him and they weep. Katonti, I am small, I am nothing, I am undeserving of all you have done for me. From there we find healing, we find wholeness, we find new blessing, we find gratitude, we find peace, we find forgiveness and transformation. Shabbat Shalom.